Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy ColtsTalk. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Indianapolis Colts versus the Tennessee Titans. This is the first time of the matchup for this season. It's going to be interesting. This is a rivalry that's been going on for years, but the Colts got a new quarterback. They got Anthony Richardson, rookie year. This is his first time meeting this team, and Lord, what a game it might be. This could be very interesting. It can go either way. The Colts could win. The Colts could lose. They could end in a tie. But we don't want to tie. But before I get into it, I would like for you to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Continue with support. Comment your game reaction. Comment who you think might win and who do you think might be most important for both teams. If you're a Titans fan, comment that. If you're a Colts fan, comment that. But let's hop into this AFC South rivalry. So, of course, the Colts do have a chance of staying in first place for the AFC South, but they do have to go through the Tennessee Titans. And this is always a team that gives them fits. Even though we know in reality the Jaguars is the biggest team, is the only team that'll give the Colts a headache week in and week out whenever they match up. So the Titans is definitely a winnable game. But there's a few things that the Colts have to get set straight in order to get this game done. And on the offensive side is find your tempo. You have to find your tempo and you got to find it fast because this Tennessee team knows you very well. You've seen it last week with the Rams. Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay dotted up those wide open, shallow coverages because they were playing very off. They were playing far off in the zone coverages, and Matthew Stafford just ate it alive. In this team, the Tennessee Titans can do pretty much the same thing, even though they have a guy in Ryan Tannehill, who's pretty much the guy that's always the issue. It's never really Derrick Henry. Even though Derrick Henry had a big game the last time he played in Indianapolis, Ryan Tannehill is always the headache when it comes to me. Ryan Tannehill turns into Derrick Henry. He's running, he's making plays, and he just goes back to the fountain of youth every time he plays the Colts, and that's really annoying. So when it comes to playing the Tennessee Titans this game, it's pretty much how do we contain Ryan Tannehill? Derrick Henry is going to be himself. But when it comes to Ryan Tannehill, you got to shut him down. You cannot let him make plays out of the pocket because he will tear you up and down the field if you give him the opportunity to do so. Now, granted, the Titans have not been themselves this year. They're a little bit on the downside offensively. We're used to seeing the Titans run heavy, but I think they're more pass-oriented this year. So going into this game, I do expect them to pass the ball a little bit. They do have DeAndre Hopkins, who's another receiver who's familiar with the Colts and their schemes and their talent. So I do expect them to pass the ball a lot going into this game. Of course, Derrick Henry's going to get his touches. He gets the ball a lot. But I think when it comes to, passing the ball or in the air, they're going to take their shots. I'm pretty sure they will. I'm pretty sure they looked at the game last week and going to take notes from that. So the Colts cannot have those soft coverages this game. They're going to have to tighten it up, and they're going to have to get it right in order to have some type of chance. So, moving forward, I do think, the Colts got to find their balance in offense. If Jonathan Taylor plays or if he gets anything going moving forward, that's just going to be a bonus for him. It's going to be a bonus for the offense. Even though we're still missing some pieces on the offensive line, I think having a guy like Jonathan Taylor with Anthony Richardson in a divisional game to keep this number one spot in the AFC South is very important. And that's just a scary duo moving forward. So even if he doesn't play, I think they still have to find that balance. AR is going to have to tighten up on his passes. This secondary is not it's not the greatest for the Titans, but I do think if you give them the chance, they will make something happen. And Denico Autry is going to be screaming. Denico Autry, every time he plays the Colts, has a breakout game. He really does. So they're going to have to definitely tighten up on their edge rush protection coming in when Denico Autry is playing the Colts. We are missing some players, but it's going to be a big game for Denico if we do not cover him. So the Colts offensive line is going to have to wake up this game. Anthony Richardson is going to have to protect the ball. He fumbled last week, so he's going to have to do everything he can against this Tennessee Titans defense because if not, they will pick you apart and this team will put up 30 points. Now, granted, the Titans have not been putting up a lot of points all year, so this could potentially be a game for them to do so. So that's why I mentioned how Anthony Richardson has to protect the ball and be careful. Other than that, If not, it's going to be a long game. So they're going to have to. Anthony Richardson's going to have to do that, and the offensive line's going to have to protect him as well moving forward. Besides finding the balance, when it comes to the offense, the wide receivers got to catch the football. There's a lot of plays last week and the week before when they had their chances and just didn't hold on to the football. Then, of course, you mentioned the one with Michael Pittman Jr. in the back of the end zone when he threw it to him. And some people say it was a little too high, but I think when it hits your hands, you do have a chance to come down with it. And, it just has to come down to, catching the football. Callan Granson has to be a little bit sharper, even though he's a dog. The tight end room, they got to come up this week. And Michael Pittman Jr.'s got to have a good game. He got to have a good game against the Titans, and I think he will. All of those things, if the wide receivers, if they benefit, if they help Anthony Richardson this game, this could be a good game for the offense. Moving forward for the defensive side, like I said, not protecting, but, containing Ryan Tannehill has to be the agenda. If that's the agenda, I think we would have ourselves a good game moving forward. So that means the edge rushers are going to have to step up. The edge rushers are going to have a good game. And, they put pressure on Matthew Stafford last week. They was just making some amazing plays. He was just putting the ball on the money. And Ryan Tannehill is no Matthew Stafford. So that means that, the rusher is going to have to be there. It's been doing very well all season. So I expect him to have another good week, especially when you look at the offensive line for the Tennessee Titans. I think the defense is going to have a good week this week. Of course, they had their struggles last week. It is Matthew Stafford. He is no slouch. He is a really good quarterback, especially when he gets comfortable and takes his time. He can dot you up. But for Ryan Tannehill, like I said, he's going to be mobile this week. So we're going to have to do everything to actually go after him and get him. I think Dio's going to have a good game. I think it's going to be a Grover Stewart game as well. Grover's been very terrific. He's amazing every week, week in and week out. So I think he's going to have a big game as well against the Tennessee Titans. Those are my picks for moving forward. Also, I think Julius Brents, if he's active, I think this could be his game. I think Brents could come out this game and put his name on the map like he did his first week when he came out against Baltimore. So, like I said, Brents and Grover Stewart is going to be my key guys for this week against the Tennessee Titans. And with that being said, I'm going to give you my score prediction. You guys let me know your score prediction in the comment section. I'm going to go with the Colts winning. I do think the Titans will put up more than 18 points. So the score for me will be 21-27. I think the Colts will get the edge here, especially at home. I do think they take this first meeting with the victory. I think the offense won't be as stellar as it was last week. The Titans do not have Aaron Donald, but they do have Denico Autry, and I will not give them. I will not count them out, especially with Jeffrey Simmons as well. So their defensive line is very good. So like I said, I would grant them 21 points, but I think the Colts will put up 27, just because Anthony Richardson is playing. This is his debut against the Titans, and I think he can catch them off guard. So I'm going to give the Colts the victories here. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.